it better to be the pretty girl or the funny girl? Funny girl, hands down. And I'll explain why. First of all, like, physical appearance, physical attractiveness, beauty, it's not a replacement for a personality, number one. You know, there's something to be said about, like, accepting inner beauty and accepting natural beauty, and I agree with those movements. I think we should lean more into natural beauty. When I was younger, attention from people who would tell me I was pretty, it felt like respect, but it's not. It's really easy to mistake being desired with being respected. But when you take those looks away, you take that desire away, suddenly you realize they didn't actually respect me. They didn't respect me, they didn't appreciate me for who I was. They just thought I was a pretty object to have around. And that's a problem. I can tell you that I've been both the funny girl and the pretty girl. I sort of came into what I refer to as pretty privilege later in high school when I was growing up, basically. And I started to figure out in the process of masking and learning how to try to fit in with everybody, I started to pick up that if I wore makeup and I wore like skimpy clothes, I would get more attention. And as I got older, I got into some industries that depend on appearance. I was represented talent. I wasn't happy. I was always down on myself. I was always complaining about something in my appearance because I was anxious. I didn't want to have any faults in my appearance whatsoever. I weighed like 20 pounds less than I weigh now, and I thought I was fat. You know, and I know that a lot of that is cultural, but also I was afraid of losing respect. And that's my point. When respect is contingent on how you look, it's not actually respect. I started to pick up on that much later when I lost the energy basically to put any effort into my appearance. The first thing to go is, of course, wearing makeup every day. And then the next thing to go is doing my hair every day. Eventually it's just like up in a ponytail or a bun. I noticed how differently people were towards me when I wasn't like putting that extra effort into my appearance. Eventually, I found people that didn't actually care what I looked like. If I was wearing makeup, if my hair was done, those people appreciated me for who I was. They appreciated my personality. And that's why I say it's better to be the funny girl. Because you know, like, the people that you're around, like, they appreciate you for you. Not because you're something pretty to look at. Don't get me wrong, I do still I like my appearance. Like, I'm not saying I'm ugly now, or, you know, because I don't wear makeup anymore, I'm no longer the pretty girl. I'm still pretty. And I think so anyway. There are people who would disagree, probably, because I'm not wearing makeup all the time. There are times where my hair's just thrown up, and, you know, maybe I haven't showered for a day, so my skin's a little oily or whatever. Sometimes I have breakouts. I do still think I'm pretty, you know, despite the fact that I am getting older, and you can tell, like, I've got these forehead wrinkles, man. I got Botox one time, and I did not like it because I couldn't, like, my facial expressions were wrong. So that's never happening again. So these are here to stay, you know. As I go out into the world and I present myself, you know, basically like this, you know, this is me, like, I showered yesterday and, you know, washed my hair, and my skin's been clearing up because I'm less stressed because the show has ended. I think I look cute. Other people might disagree, to each their own. But I also know that some of those same people, if I were to dress up or do my hair in a certain way or wear makeup all the time, I would be approached differently. And it's a problem, because I ain't got that kind of time. Just know, if you're out there and you are discovering that when you change your appearance, people pay attention to you, be wary. Just be wary, because they might be paying attention to you now, but what happens when you don't have time to do makeup one day? What happens when, years later you're looking older? Because it happens to all of us. You gotta know that somebody's there for you, for who you are. Even today, when I'm doing things that, wearing makeup or whatever, and people tell me I'm pretty, like, I do appreciate it. I believe that it's sincere. And I thank them for that. I sincerely thank them for that. But I'm also wary. Like, if that's the first thing you noticed, like, when that's gone, when I come back wearing makeup and wearing a tank top, no bra, like, are you still gonna want to hang out? If that's the first thing people notice about me, I'm a little bit wary. Comes from working in certain industries. But yeah, be the funny girl.